another comic was like, hey, you want to make $100 to kind of run through Hot Ones to try out the hot sauces. It's for Hot Ones.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, yeah, sure. So the producer emailed me just a series of questions, birthday, name, all that. And then fun fact about yourself. I put, I used to smoke meth as a teenager.
Yeah, great.
And then my friend texts me. He's like, that cannot be your fun fact.
It's fun.
And I was like, how is it not fun?
As a fellow... Hello and welcome to What's Your Damage with Jez Watts. This is episode 6. Bracked for 6. I know technically the phrase is knocked for 6 and it's like a cricket phrase, which actually I don't give a shit about cricket. But my guest this week talks about being a teenage meth head and smoking crack. And you know what? So that's the phrase for this episode. This is an excellent episode and she's a very funny comedian. She was born in Reno, Nevada, which I think explains the crack, but her dad left at 5 and had a bunch of kids from previous relationships that he also abandoned, and her friend's father sold his daughter and her as her daughter's friend the meth when she was a teenage meth head. Talk about that and how she worked at a sex dungeon, and also that she's just had a sort of a secret divorce that I think is now more public, that she's just gone through, and the long, quite circuitous route she's taken in comedy and life that has now brought her to move from America, UK, and now to Adelaide in South Australia, of all places, which I got to say, actually, Adelaide's really grown on me. Adelaide's a very lovely place. Her name is Katharyn Henson. She has shows on sale in Perth, Adelaide. I know she's going to the Edinburgh Fringe later in the year. I'm sure she has additional things that will be on sale on her website, You Girl, You Nasty. So that's GirlUNasty.com. She's doing, I think, 2 shows in Adelaide. Stories from the Office of a Sex Dungeon, which is exactly what it sounds like on the tin. Very interesting and funny. She's also filming a special inside a shipping container, 15 minutes at a time, called Thank You for Coming Inside My Box. I highly recommend seeing her live. I'm doing shows. We're in the final week of Perth Fringe now. I have my final solo show Valentine's Day in Fremantle, if anyone is around there. Shows also on sale in Auckland, Wellington, and Dunedin. The Melbourne International Comedy Festival. Discount tickets for the next couple of weeks on my page. You can get live tickets to everything at jezwatts.com, JEZWATTTS.com. Coming to Darwin, Singapore, a bunch of other Southeast Asian countries, and the Edinburgh Fringe later in the year. Please go and watch my comedy special, White Rice Supreme, on YouTube. I spent so much money on it. I would love to get up those clicks. Okay, let's get into the episode. Episode 6, Katharyn Henson. Enjoy. I remember Ruben Gummer introduced you to me, and he said, Katharyn's very funny, and she'll be great for your nasty show that I was doing at the time. And based on that recommendation, I didn't book you for a while.
You know what's so funny?
And then when I saw, I don't know if I had booked you or I saw you at a lineup show and I went, oh shit, she's awesome and I'm such a big fan of her comedy or whatever. But it's just like, and it's not that Ruben does stuff that is bad. He just, the stuff he likes generally is not what I like, and comedy is a big broad tent, and there's a lot of things that are good that I don't like that doesn't make them bad, right?
Now, it's funny that you say that, because as you were saying that, I was going to say, that thing he said about me is maybe one of the most honest things that have come out of that guy's mouth, that I'm funny. You know?
Yeah, great. Let's clip this up. We'll get some viral things going.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think anyone cares, but
no, nobody cares. But
yes, he's Ruben and his ilk, like real gamers of comedy, like always working their angles, and I'm not built to do that, and it's been to my detriment in my career, I think.
But not as a person. So you have that. Karma's not coming for you as hard as it might be for him.
Is karma really effective in comedy? It feels like the worst of the worst people get very successful, right? Yeah.
I've thought a lot about that point over the last few years, but I think
I think it's true in general in the world.
Yes. But what is success? You know what I mean?
That's a better question, right?
Yeah.
Yes. As a fellow former meth head, it's so fun, and you don't get how fun it is until you do it for a while.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah. So I grew up in Perth, and I think
High five.
I grew up in Perth, and I think certainly at the time meth was very popular. Like you were an earlier start. Like you got into it more quickly.
Yeah, like I was 17.
Yeah, you had a more rapid rise. I waited till I was like 20, 21 maybe. But yeah, there was a sort of quite a large what's called like the bush doof scene.
I've heard of this.
Yeah, like parties in the park or whatever, but it's like out in the bush.
Yeah.
That was certainly at the time very heavy into drugs, and meth was a big part of that scene. And I didn't realize this until many years later, but like it's because I came from quite a broken home or whatever. I was trying to find community. I was trying to find family. And when you're on all the same drugs as the people around you, you feel connected in a way that you think is family.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then later you're like, oh, we were just, chemically altered on the same wavelength. It's like, actually, no one here cares about anyone else. They really would like the drugs mostly.
Yeah. And once you do enough meth, you become family so much that you want everyone around you dead. So you can have...
I think when you stay up for several days in a row, like psychosis starts to come in. Like, an old friend of mine, I hope he's doing well now, but like I knew back then, he had stayed up for like 4 or 5 days in my friend's shed, and like so I came in and out and stuff, and we're all smoking meth.
Did you say shed?
Shed, yeah.
I have smoked plenty of meth in a shed.
Yeah, of course.
You got it. You got it. It comes with the package.
That's right. It's the whole aesthetic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And but it was like 4 or 5 days into the session, and some people had fallen out, some people would come in. But at one point, he walked in as middle of the day in Perth in the summer, wearing a full head to toe wetsuit. He'd gone in the house. He'd found his wetsuit. He'd come back out, put it all on, and went, hey guys, and he picked up a screwdriver and he went, I'm going to go rob the convenience store.
Right.
This is my disguise.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And we all went, yeah, cool. And like, we don't, like, who cares?
Yeah.
You're up for 5 days. It seems reasonable.
Yeah.
But he is a 7-foot tall circus trained man.
Yeah.
And so he's very distinct and also he was the local convenience store, which he has been to many times.
Yeah.
And then he just sort of flip-flopped there, wearing a full head-to-toe wetsuit in the middle of the day, held them up, and then, walked back to, the 300 meters to the house.
Wow.
And so obviously the police came not that long after.
Yeah.
And, he had to wear an ankle brace for a while. But he had a good job, and he had money, and he didn't need it. It was just seemed like a good idea.
Something to do. Well, we were quite a bit younger, like 17.
Yeah.
So one of my friends I used to do it with, he like aced a test he didn't remember taking while high on meth, like in school. Like we were going to school.
Yeah, like this is like sort of Dexies and Ritalin are a great example of this.
Yeah.
Amphetamines do allow you to operate above your normal abilities for a little while.
Yeah, for a little while,
and then there's a quick drop off.
Yeah, it's weird because we used to get it from one of our friends' dad. And he was like, well, it's that age-old classic of like, well, if I know where you're getting it from, if you're under my roof.
If you're smoking meth in the house, then it's fine.
I could keep an eye on you. But he was doing meth.
Where was it? So where did you grow up?
So this was in...
Because I think of you as, a New York person, but...
Yeah, this was in California,
okay,
in Northern California. And then, I was born in Nevada. I was born in Reno. So,
I've been to Reno.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
Thank you. People normally say that. That's my excuse for all of it.
Yeah.
He was a functioning meth head.
Yep.
Like his wife didn't know.
Right.
She was a night nurse.
Right.
So he was somehow still. But I think it got to a level. I don't know. His daughter's doing it. We're all hanging out doing it.
I think when you're selling it to your own daughter, maybe you do have a problem.
Yeah, he should have been giving it to his daughter. But
no, that's bad parenting.
Seriously.
To charge a fee.
This is one of my jokes. I feel so bad I just did that.
That's fine.
but you know what I mean? I was like, oh, here it is. Yeah, like one of his friends like blew us meth pipes out of glass air fresheners just in the garage one night.
Just as a gift.
Yeah, we all had our own little meth pipe, cute.
Personalized.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very, I feel very fortunate I had the cognitive ability to be like, I'm about to go to university in New York.
Right.
And I don't know if there's meth there, so I probably should stop now.
Yeah.
But then I had to go through the whole thing, which is actually, really uncomfortable.
Yes.
You know, like
you become addicted might be the word.
Yeah, like even if you're not mentally addicted, you're physically, you know, like going through that kind of thing. Yeah. And just that my friend group at the time, that's what they were into.
Yeah.
And
well, that's why I grew up in Perth. The reason I left, so I used to be in the army briefly.
Wow, okay.
The reason I left the army when I did is they had started random drug testing, and I went, oh no,
this isn't the 60s. This isn't Nam.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of meth and other things, and so at that point I applied for some leave. Like I had I had not gone in for like a Tuesday night training thing, and I heard from someone who was there, they did random drug testing, everyone that showed up. And I was like, had I shown up, that would, it's a pretty serious crime, I think, is to be doing Class A drugs and stuff. And you probably shouldn't have rifles, you know?
Yeah. I mean, once upon a time, it would have been considered an asset, but...
That's true. I mean, that's sort of why meth came to be, right?
Yeah.
The Nazi party, like the Germans, they were like, hey, here, have this meth, and let's not get into any of that. But...
What, you don't want to talk about Nazis
No,
right now?
I'm pro-Nazi now.
That's why I'm here.
The biggest audience in comedy is now that.
Honestly, you'd probably have a career if you just hopped on over to that side.
I know. I just, you know what? I'll just tell you this really quickly because I just, you know, James McCann.
I've heard the name.
So we might cover this, but you're gonna move to Adelaide, or you moved there already?
Ish. Yeah. I'm there.
So James is now back, but he's blown up. He's been a great comic for many years. I used to say that he was like the only funny right-wing comic because he has sort of some very hardcore religious beliefs. His dad's a pastor, and he really does believe in them. And I think now he's like one of the only funny centrist comics because the whole culture has shifted to the right. Yeah. And his positions have remained the same. But he's blown up big from like Kill Tony.
Okay. And
their audience sucks.
Yeah,
and,
I mean...
he was doing like four like 1 hour recorded shows, and at one point the Holocaust got brought up by James, of course, and but there were a couple of Holocaust deniers in his audience who started arcing up, and then they had a whole thing for 10 minutes, whole back and forth, and it was a bummer for everyone who was there, and they ended up one of them was obviously like a meth head. They were both drunk, and they had to get ejected from the show, but. This is what I realized about James is that he's now become so popular. His audience has expanded so far that it contains a non-zero amount of Holocaust deniers.
Okay.
And he has a fourth kid coming. So he needs to...
4.
He truly believes that. Like, I told him I got a vasectomy. He was so upset. He was like, "No, you must have children." Like, it's a really serious belief that he holds.
I mean, cool, but wow.
I mean, I told him
there's a lot of people.
It's too many. And
why don't you adopt?
And he's responsible for all of them. You know, like, yeah.
As a comedian.
Yeah. So
he's playing with fire.
Whoever's his audience, he must appeal to. He must.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, he's not saying. You know, he's not like, hey, you Holocaust deniers, I agree with you, but I think he also probably doesn't want to disagree too loudly.
You know, I think...
There's an economic imperative for him.
I feel like dogmatic beliefs of any kind can be very dangerous for anybody. You know what I mean? So it's like if the kids keep coming out and then, you know, by the 7th one, you just are a Nazi. Like,
yeah, maybe that's what's happening with the world. Oh my God. Anyway, that's upsetting to think about. Let's get back to the meth.
Something a little more happy.
Yeah, what is your relationship with your parents now? Are they still around? Like,
so my dad, I mean, surprise, surprise, left when I was 5. So he had quite a few children prior to me. So I think I was the last.
James McCann style?
Yeah, actually, 4.
Yeah.
I think.
Too many.
3 or 4, something like that. Yeah, I mean, I might have been the 4th. Either way.
Well, I'm glad you're around.
Too many. Well, I was a surprise. Let's call it. I was an accident. A spade. My mom was 45 when she had me.
Wow.
Yeah, so she didn't think she could get pregnant. So I don't think either of them signed up for one more. Yeah. So she was very surprised to find out that I was on my way.
Interesting.
Yeah, so... And then I have like a half brother from her side.
Right.
But I don't know any of these other siblings on my dad's side because when he left, you know, those families, he also left.
Right.
But he was a criminal psychiatrist. So this isn't your normal kind of...
Is that like a comma between those? Is that he's a criminal psychiatrist also?
That's funny. I might use that. I mean, I haven't written a new joke in like 2 years.
Love a bit of punctuation.
But that's funny. It's like none. Yeah. He was a... you just reminded me of a joke I forgot about. Anyway. God, crazy. But yeah,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
so it's not your stereotypical deadbeat dad kind of thing. Like,
Yeah,
you know what
sure.
I mean? He's just had a job, you know?
Yeah,
like,
interesting.
But just different, I guess, life choices led him to having, like, he married 2 other women, I think, before my mom and had kids with them. And then there was me.
Yeah.
So,
did he have any contact with them? Or I guess you may not know this, right? He left.
Yeah, I don't. I know my mom said my sister was around a bit because my mom had met her.
Sister, half sister.
Half sister.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't.
I also have a half sister, and my dad was a criminal, not a psychiatrist.
Oh, there we go.
But yeah, but I only found this out when I was like 20. He's like he had a whole life and like a previous wife who left him when he went to prison for a long time.
Yeah, okay.
Because he kept doing crimes.
Yes.
And after that, he still did low-level crimes for the rest of his life. But he, stopped boosting cars and doing B&Es and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so he got away with his low-level crimes.
Yeah, with his.
And I ultimately now I respect it. I'm like, yeah, I do a lot of low-level crime to make comedy work.
Yeah. Just just a little hors d'oeuvre of crime.
Yes, I'm very glad that the Australian government is still restricting like facial recognition tracking at supermarkets, because in the States they're like prosecuting felonies for it.
Are they?
Yeah.
Wait, for stealing from grocery stores?
Yes, they will track you. Like, so they now have the technical ability to track people, and therefore they wait until you've stolen enough that it's a felony and then charge you.
Oh, interesting.
Here, they have the technical ability to do it, but the government, luckily, has said, no, we don't want you tracking people, or like, we don't want you identifying people by their faces and storing that and tracking it long term.
Okay.
And I talked about this in the special I put out a few weeks ago, but like at the time I recorded it, we had stolen about 25 grand worth of groceries.
Who's we?
My fiance and I.
Okay, right.
I present it in the comedy that it's me, and she's like a lovely person. But we do it together, and we're a little team.
It's part of our.
Honestly, it's bonded.
Foreplay.
It's bonded us together.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish it was foreplay, but
I mean,
it's every Sunday we have to do it. So,
there you go.
But it's something that I used to track it in a spreadsheet, and like I say the jokes, because I have autism or whatever. But it is something that is true, that I love a spreadsheet. I did a minor in statistics because I love that. We do sort of like keep now just more of a loose count. But we're now up to at least 35 grand, and it's all stolen from the same store, the same supermarket. So if we were keeping an eye on the legislation now, because if they say, oh, you're allowed to track, it's like, okay, well, I have to start paying for all my groceries.
So
it's getting hard.
I mean, this is a lot for me at once, because you're saying this on camera into a microphone.
Whatever.
But
I'm playing a character.
Yeah. But
this is all fictional.
I love a spreadsheet too, and my partner, I mean, in a very different way, tracks. Oh God, this is not even amusing, but
it doesn't have to be. Fuck
yeah,
it.
but just peanut butter. How much it costs at different stores, so we can get the best deal.
Oh yes, well yeah. She also my partner tracks deals and stuff as well.
Yeah, I love a deal. I love a deal. I love a spreadsheet.
Deals are
I love
great.
a list.
But she sent me a message, because now I'm here for like the month or whatever. She sent me a message last Sunday. Paid 20, stole 67.
Brilliant. Love that.
Pretty
wow.
good
And you
shop.
were rock hard.
Pretty good shop.
Yeah. Wow. I'm not going to ask you how, because I'm never going to do.
At one point I was sort of teaching comedians in Melbourne. I was giving them sort of little tutorials.
Community outreach.
A couple of people asked, hey, can you come with me and like do it as like a trial?
Yeah.
I was like, that's probably too much, but I'll explain to you all the steps. But it's all changed over time. It's gotten more and more difficult. Particularly with the recession, like more people started stealing.
Yeah,
my techniques were not refined enough, and I got caught twice.
Oh,
one time I had like nearly an entire trolley worth of things that I was stealing, and they came up and they went, "Hey, you haven't scanned,
anything.
more than $120 worth of things," and I went. And they went, just pay for it. And that's the difference, I think, between like being white in Australia and then being in America of any color, because that would not have happened the same way.
Well, two things.
Well, there's no prison industrial complex here where everyone's making money.
Yeah.
So where's the incentive to send someone to prison here?
Well, like, Right. I mean, my mom told me in California they have like the security guard there, but people that you can't stop anybody. But you can't stop anybody at all.
Well, yeah,
in California,
in
at
fact,
least.
Yeah, and that is certainly true in Australia.
Yeah.
Like I did security for a few months. I was very bad at it.
So you're like,
because
you're just like, just get on out of here.
At the time, I hadn't started stealing from supermarkets. The first time, my partner is the one that convinced me to start stealing from supermarkets.
Yeah.
But very early on in our relationship, she went, "Oh, hey, I stole a couple things or whatever," and we had a big fight about it. Again, because of the spectrum thing, I'm very like black and white of right, wrong behavior.
Yeah.
There is no gray.
Yeah.
Which is not really how the world works, but it's just how I sort of default. And I just went, no, stealing is always a wrong thing. And it took a long period of time for me to go, you know what? Corporations steal in a way that is technically legal but morally wrong. That they're all, they're more than amoral, right? Like they're immoral.
Yeah.
And so actually fuck them,
Yeah, no, I'm there.
Stealing from them it's hurting it's preventing a bad person from profiting as much.
Yeah.
So we never steal from an independent grocer.
No.
We steal from a massive corporation.
Yeah. No, and I'm with you.
And it's all a character.
Yeah, and this is we're not even here right now, actually.
No, absolutely. Yeah. We just both did DMT.
One of the best thieves I've ever known was Australian, but it was just a very weird way that she entered my life, and it was for a very brief period of time. Mm-hmm. But I watched her steal a standard size pillow from Bed Bath & Beyond in New York City.
Right.
Which is like...
Yeah, there's certain places that I won't steal.
No, but I was like, right.
We went to Singapore a few months back, and like, literally, as we got off the plane, I was there with my partner because she's originally Singaporean, and as we got off the plane and we're walking through, like, customs, I sort of turned around and went, and now no stealing for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Even though she's from there, it's like, it's such an instinct at a certain point.
Well, but... Are you not impressed by what I said? A standard size pillow.
I am.
Because I had thrown up in my pillow from
drinking. You need me to be more demonstrative about it? Like,
because I watched her just cruise. She waved at the security guard and said, "Have a nice day." And I was like, the fuck is going on,
So much of it is about perception.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant work, honestly, on her part.
Have you done many crimes apart from the meth?
No, I mean, as far as stealing, I got caught the only time I tried, and then I was like, you know what, never again. And they made me pay for it and didn't give it to me.
That's frustrating.
I feel like they stole from me now.
They did.
Yeah, they did. It was at a Walgreens too, It was Polaroid film.
Okay.
What a
Oh.
Yeah, I know. You see how naive, how juvenile.
But also, you look like somebody that would, need to get Polaroid film. Yeah.
Yeah,
very artsy.
Immediately.
Not the first thing I ever stole, but like when I was a kid, I stole just like a little bit of chewing gum. I think the price tag was maybe 15 cents, right? And it was just like a tiny packet of chewing gum, and I stole that, and then I came home, and I think I told my brother that, I stole this or whatever. He went and told my parents. My dad went, and then drove me back to the store, and we had like a meeting with the store manager, and sort of like read me the riot act, and were like, hey, you go to prison or whatever. And then at the time I was like, okay, I better not steal or whatever. And then when I was 20, my dad sat me down and went, hey, I have like a bit of backstory you don't know about me I want to tell you about, which is that when he was like 19 or 20, he worked for a bank, and then he embezzled money, and they caught him. And then he like went to jail for a little while. And then when he was in jail, he met people who stole cars, and they taught him how to steal cars. And then he got out, and then he stole cars for a while. And then he went to jail for that for a little while. Yeah. And then he met a B&E crew, and then came out and started break and enters, and then went away for like 7 years. Yeah. And that's when his first wife left him, and my half sister and stuff. Like, I think she had just had the baby, maybe, and they were like, "Hey, we're separate now. We're not going to be a family anymore, and it's because all your crimes." And I was like, "Motherfucker, you like bailing me up on a 15-cent? You hypocritical motherfucker!
Look at his laundry list."
Yeah, and he's telling me stories about prison and stuff. At one point, there was a hit out on him in the prison because the word was he was a snitch, which. In retrospect, with my dad, I'm like, I think you were working angles. I think maybe you were a snitch. Yeah. But, anyway, so you haven't done many crimes.
No, and it's not because, like, for example, what you said about corporation, like, I agree with you fundamentally, but I think for
it's stressful, though.
Well, that's the thing. It's like at the end of the day, I can agree with that. And I don't want to deal. I'm trying to have a simple life. I don't know. I want to, I mean, this is like the kind of wanky thing you said at the top. I want to make a difference.
Right.
And if end up
in prison,
in prison, yeah. Because that's the way that is. That's how we've made this up. Then I'm like,
I think as well, I mean, you can't discount the level of privilege I'm operating from in terms of just general societal stuff, right? That I'm a white Australian male. I grew up in a country with, healthcare. Like, whatever that I came from a specifically broken home in some ways, and it fucked me up in some ways.
Yeah.
The fact is, like, systemically, I'm built to not be afraid that things won't work out, right? Because they historically have, and I've made many bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if I was in a more vulnerable group, that wouldn't have gone the same way.
True.
And you are not only a woman, but I think you're a woman that is living in a bunch of different countries that aren't necessarily your home country.
Mm-hmm.
And your home country is kind of not the nicest to your citizens,
the Wild West right now.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
How do you have any opinions about what's going on there?
That you
want to put on the internet?
I don't watch the news or listen just because, again,
I sort of stopped for my own mental health.
Yeah, I think it's like, and this is also, I just try to deal with what's in front of me.
Yep.
Because I guess, what you let in, and I'm not saying like I want to like live naively, but that can affect you.
But it doesn't need to be all of your everyday,
right. And so, if you're I'm just trying to kind of work on a daily basis with what I have in front of me. I think we all kind of have roles to play on this planet, and I'm just doing the best in the one that I've got. I don't think I'm...
What do you mean by we have roles to play?
I don't know. Like, this is all...
No, do you think it's like... No, but I'm not making fun. But do you think it's somewhat predefined, or... What do you mean by that?
I mean, I think, like, for example, I don't see myself at the forefront of, like, a political revolution.
Sure.
While I could see a lot of people, that doesn't mean I want to be like, oh, no, you go deal with it. Yeah. It's more like where I feel like drawn to is, like, maybe a different side of it. Maybe it's, like, less overt, less, but not, that doesn't mean I'm ignoring it or doing nothing. Yeah. But again, I think it's just like we have to...
It doesn't have to be your whole identity.
Yeah, we follow what we're drawn to, know? And so it's like...
And we sort of don't necessarily get to make too many conscious decisions about what those are.
Right, yeah. I mean, I don't... there's a lot of different things that are at play that maybe we don't fully understand, know? And shit going on,
Yeah.
I think how delightful it would be to be sure of everything that's happening and know, oh yeah, this is what this is all about, know? But
I think if you feel sure about everything, you're probably crazy.
You're probably wrong,
Yeah.
But yeah, so what I do know, it feels bad. It feels like there's just a great divide of loss of humanity.
Yeah.
But I mean, when was there ever real humanity? When you think about the end of time from the beginning, I mean, people just disliking each other because of the difference and
absolutely any out group is to be distrusted. Yeah.
But I mean, it I don't know. It happened even within groups of like the same type of people. So it's kind of like what direction are we moving in?
How connected are you on like social media stuff?
Oh, like not like
this is why I like you. Like, this is why I think you seem relatively sane to me. I feel like social media has kind of destroyed the internet, or what I remember the internet to be.
Yeah, the fucking fun internet.
Where there's a bunch of interesting shit in a bunch of different places. But also it's built in such a way that outrage and upsetting people is more valuable to the platform than making them happy, because it gives more engagement to make someone upset.
Yeah.
And so the more connected I find myself, and now I've sort of having to engage with it more because I'm like trying to promote my special and get numbers, because I'm even like, I even lost like my Melbourne Comedy Festival venue I was booked in, and then the venue owner, not the guy who was like booking in the shows, went through all the comedians who were booked, went through all their social media followings, and then struck out anyone that didn't have enough numbers his opinion. And it's like, okay, well, I thought I could just keep working at getting better at comedy and that would be enough.
You idiot.
Because I'm a fool.
Yeah.
So now I'm sort of trying to engage with it more, but still create limits, because I just feel it affecting my brain in a very negative way.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why people have become so divided, is that they're getting, catered to. Their reality is getting catered to because if they're I think the best way to be successful. I was talking with a comic about this the other day. I think the best way to be successful in front of any given audience is to tell them they're great and they're better than other audiences. And if they're a certain kind of demographic, tell them that their demographic is the best.
Oh yeah,
there's like an Indian comic I know who, he was crushing at the. I wasn't even there for the gig, but I've seen this kind of set from him before. But he was like crushing in front of the nearly 100% white audience by saying Indians suck and India sucks and you guys are the best. And he won money at the gong. The audience was like, yeah, we are the best. Everyone loves being told they're great.
Yeah, give this guy $100.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was speaking to another Indian comic who was upset by, why is this the situation? And it's like, because people love to hear that they're right. And and then when you want to just keep someone on your social media platform, you tell them they're right, everyone else is bad, you can't trust them. And then people take that back into the world. And it's upsetting.
I really stopped trying to figure it out. I mean, I basically use Instagram for sending memes about either spirituality or shit that's written by incels. It's both ends of the spectrum.
That's fun.
That's it.
Yeah.
But
it averages out to normal.
Yeah. Balance. But I mean, I don't know. I watched a video that I got sent of two ladies at McDonald's at midnight saying we're ordering ice cream. No one else is here. They not like us. They not like us. And
this was
it wasn't. It's just two ladies. No, it's just they're in the car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And 6,000 people would like that.
Right.
I've never received 6,000 likes on anything I've ever. Maybe my combined total is 6,000 likes. And I was like, you know what? I don't get it. Good for you. But I'm out. But I've chosen that.
I mean, I think there's, there's plenty more hateful examples of things you could have picked up that got way more than 6,000 likes.
Yeah,
that to me is kind of innocuous.
But
right?
that's my point.
Okay,
is what's
the value in it?
Well, look, I mean, if it makes them happy, maybe there's value. But I'm like, I don't know who this is reaching. I don't know why this is I don't get it. I don't want to get it. I have other things to do. Yeah. I mean, I kind of had to take, it took several years. I mean, you brought this up at the top of the show to figure out what I want out of this. Why did I ever start this?
Why did you start? Do you know?
Trauma response.
Yeah. Pretty common.
I'd say that's 99.9% of comedians.
Yeah.
And then that 0.1% maybe actually want to make people laugh.
For no other purpose.
Yeah. Just to bring joy. And then, go through a whole journey with it. I mean, all these things that we're talking about, feeling a lot of different things about it, then eventually accepting it for what it is, accepting what I want, my place in it, with the understanding, that could change, it's nothing's a hard and fast forever, but realizing what I wanted out of my life, making it all work for me rather than me work for it.
Can you put that in words? What do you want? What are your goals now as a person, as someone in a life?
Look, I don't even want to be happy. I just want to feel fine.
Okay.
Because happy is that means you're well, if you're happy, you're never sad,
Okay.
And it's I'm okay with both, but I'd like baseline every day to not wake up ugh.
Just neutral.
Yeah. And I have that, and I'm feeling more and more I have I have a good life.
Yeah.
I'm not troubled most of the time by something squawking around,
Yeah.
I've sorted through, the shit that got me into comedy, and it's helped me basically, I don't do a lot that I don't want to do in stand-up anymore, which I think, frankly, 90% of doing stand-up is doing a lot of things you don't want to do.
Yeah. I mean, there's something I sort of started out being all right, I only want to do things on my own terms. I only want to do the things I want to do. I want to do comedy the way I want to do it. I don't want to do the things I don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I also, need to pay my half of the rent.
Mm-hmm.
With my long-term partner who's been with me since I started comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that she told me a year or two ago that I remind myself of a lot, is doing something you don't want to do for money is called having a job. And therefore, well, I learned how to do 30 minutes clean so I could do a corporate that would pay me $2 or $3 grand.
Yeah.
I now am represented by an agency to go and do comedy on cruise ships, which I'm not psyched about it.
Yeah, but
it's job stuff. And also it doesn't mean that all of my comedy has to be doing 30 minutes clean for a corporate. All of my comedy has to be what works on the cruise ships. I can still pursue, the art form in the way I want to do it on my own terms, doing other things.
Yeah.
But also, even learning how to market my stuff online and edit clips and all that kind of stuff. I don't necessarily want to spend my time doing that, but if it's in service of the greater part of my life being what I want to do, which it is, because I haven't had like a proper job for 7, 8, 9 years.
Yeah.
But I am beholden to, be a good partner to my partner.
Of course.
Right? And so it's not fair to go, I'm an artist. And also,
100%.
It's not like I'm a fine artist. I do so many dick jokes.
Yeah.
But I'm an artist, therefore I don't have my half of the rent. It's not sort of cool to be my baseline position.
Yeah, I mean, that's not... I would not support that version.
No, of course not.
But I think everyone's journey with anything, because this could be, you used to think stand-up isn't just like everything else, and in many ways it really is. I mean, It's a little confusing because there is art attached to it, so sometimes when you are the artist, you know what I mean, there's a little more like, oomph, a little more feeling into it than maybe a corporate job, but...
I wish there was like a French baron that funded me.
Oh, yeah.
I had a genuine patron.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Wouldn't that be nice? But I think the more aligned, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, you get with what you really want, and if it's coming from, a good place.
Yeah.
I hate to use good or bad.
Healthy.
Yeah, healthy, not like clinging, not and not like harming others. I think the more you figure out what you want and what you're doing,
I feel like it's getting harder and harder to find people who aren't deliberately harming others.
Yeah,
for their own well-being.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but I think things fall into place. Like, I think for you, from what I'm hearing, it's like you were like, I want to just do stand-up. Whereas for me, I was kind of like going around. I was sort of looking at comics more successful than me, listening to them, thinking about, okay, whose career do I want? And then I just sort of realized, I don't actually want this all the time.
Yeah. What age did you start comedy? Like when did you first perform?
27.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm 10 years in now.
Yeah.
And I'd say all these questions started, just shortly, after we came back after the pandemic, right?
Yep.
And then, as I was really just making comedy my full-time job, and I kind of realized, what I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing, I don't like, I don't want, but you think you want it because maybe you look like you're doing well, or maybe whatever.
The perception of success is not success.
So I had to kind of be like, okay, what do I want? And I, my life before comedy was very varied, it was extremely varied. So very varied. Look at me. But it was extremely varied. So I thought I don't think this is it.
It's not everything.
Yeah. And it's something I can do. And it's like, I don't know, maybe you'll be surprised to know, or maybe not. Like, my gig last night with you, or 2 nights ago, whatever.
Oh yeah. Hotel.
I mean, aside from doing my show, I haven't performed since August.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck,
so
man.
So do you know,
you are the kind of and I think I've said this to you previously. I think I don't know if it was last year, or maybe it was a couple of years ago, but it was definitely at Perth Fringe. You went on one of my showcases and just annihilated in a way that certainly a couple of Perth comics who were next to me, who were on that show, went, "Who is this chick? She's so fucking funny. That's amazing." That's nice. And I leaned over to them and I went, "Yeah, she hasn't gigged for 6 months." This was it was literally your first gig back.
Yeah.
And people like you really frustrate me.
Yeah,
you're so naturally good at it that you don't need the constant repetition of stagecraft.
Well, it's my trauma response.
Well, maybe so.
You know what I mean? Like,
I wish I was more traumatized.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I could make that happen for you.
But it's so to me, it's so clear, to audiences and audience response and everything. It's so clear when I haven't been on stage enough. And there are just people who have funny bones in a way that I say it's frustrating. I'm very happy to know you and see you.
Yeah.
I very much enjoyed watching the set, but I also just I wish I had that too.
Yeah. But again, I think it all depends on what you want, right? Sure. Like at one point I wanted to be the best at what I did, which meant because my comedy's so divisive, I'm like,
good would be another word.
Oh, thank you. But you know what I mean.
I feel like if every single person this is a very extreme example, but there's a thing Patrice O'Neill used to say back in the day is that he didn't like that phrase of like, oh, comedy takes no prisoners. You should take prisoners. You should take 2 or 3 prisoners from every audience. Should really want to leave but not be able to.
That's funny.
Otherwise, you're not really taking a risk with what you're doing.
Oh,
I think that's great.
I'm not a fan of comedy, so I've never heard of that before.
You don't know Patrice O'Neill?
No, I know Patrice O'Neill, but I've never
best.
heard that. Of course I know Patrice. I'm not.
Well, I don't know how much you're not a fan of comedy you are.
No,
but isn't that, I think
that's nice.
That's the kind of comedy I like. I mean, it's this, as I was saying earlier, and this is therapy's brought me to this. Just because it's not for me doesn't make it bad, right? I used to think earlier on in comedy, I used to think, oh, well, if I don't like it, it's bad comedy, and whether or not the room is erupting in hysterics. But now I'm like, well, there's a lot of kind of good comedy that's just not for me. I'm not in their audience. But yeah, the kind of comedy where literally everyone is having a great time because it's just got so little bite to it, it frustrates me, and I sort of have to leave the room. Yeah. But I don't leave the room and go, that sucks. I go, that's not for me.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that, like, because the show that I'm doing, I mean, I'm really trying to be like, I mean, look, you come if you're into the name or not, right? But I mean, I've had people.
Stories from the Office of a Sex Dungeon, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But, I have people there.
Has this show, can I ask this? You've been doing this show for a while.
Well,
has the show content changed and the title stayed the same, or is the show content roughly the same?
So I've kind of been doing it a while in that
here and there for a while, right? Not necessarily like running it.
Edinburgh 2024 is when I wrote it, like during Edinburgh.
I feel like it's older than that.
So I was like, I had maybe done a preview or two being like, all right, I'm just going to tell you guys some stories and see if this takes shape. Yeah. But then I basically put it together in Edinburh 2024.
Oh, it's pretty new then. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, I'm going to do this until I'm pretty sure the people have seen it, Like, because, people write a new show every year, and I'm like, I'm not fucking doing that.
Well, but I don't think that's a way to make the show really good.
Yeah. So to this point, like, I used to take questions, because it helped me actually know what I've left out. Like, if people were like, what's this, So I was kind of like, oh, cool,
What are the holes in this story?
Yeah, but now I'd say it's really sort of what I think it is, Yeah. But I still add, like, the other day I do a joke about, pooping on people for money, right? Or whatever, and then I say how...
wherever you want.
Well, no, I say poop.
Okay, cool.
But then I revealed that I was the manager, so it wasn't me.
Yes.
But I said, I used to say it's a lot of lube to keep track of, and then I was like sitting there, I was like, it's a lot of poop to keep track of, and it calls back to the first day.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like if you're
things
if you're
change,
in it,
they evolve.
Yeah, exactly. So there's little bits and pieces still going in, but like for the most part. There's other stories. I could probably do a whole other hour, if I wanted to, but.
Did I see something about, are you doing like a show here where you're like filming or planning to film it where you act as if the audience has changed every 15 minutes because you're later going to do one where the audience does change? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm...
What's that?
I'm nervous and excited about this.
I think it's cool.
In Adelaide, there's a shipping container in the middle of the garden of Unearthly Delights, right?
Yeah.
And this is how I started doing stand-up. I was a barker in New York. And so they call them spruikers here. And
and did you blatantly lie about the comics on the shows? Because that was my experience.
No, because I was at the Grizzly Pear.
I was like, okay, yeah.
So,
but I was like, that famous comic is there, and I was like, they're there now, like tonight, like of course.
Yeah, no, that's
brutally
that's
live.
Broadway.
Yes,
that's Broadway's,
that's
tricks.
Yeah,
I'm at the Pear. You walk in there, no famous person goes there. But yeah, in Adelaide, they're called spruikers. They're circus performers, right? And it's world class barking. Like I've never seen barking like this good in my life. And what they do is they have the shipping container, and when I'm performing it, I'm already in the container, and they bring in the audience, and I start crowd working them as they're seating.
Great.
And
I've done that in some of my Edinburgh shows.
Yeah, and then the show's over in 15 minutes, and then they leave. This is my favorite place to do comedy on the planet.
Interesting.
It's the only time I like it. You put me in a club filled with 300 people, the ideal kill room. I hate it.
Right.
Which is how I knew I really don't want to do this. But where this audience has been moshed together, mashed together, and they're like, yeah, I've got $10 in 15 minutes. Fuck it. And they come in with no expectations.
Yeah, that's fun.
And it's the most fun I've ever had doing comedy. And last year when I was doing it, I just said as a joke, I think I want to do a special here.
Yeah, great.
To the guy. And then I came back the next day and I was like, I was serious. And he was like, I've already asked. We're happy. Whatever you need. So
that's great.
We're going to film it exactly.
Have you already got your film team?
So
because I highly recommend Sam Clark, who is based in Adelaide.
Yeah.
He does all James McCann stuff.
Because, the lady who might film it might not be able to come. So I might.
Well, maybe hit him up. Yeah.
Because I've already we've factored it out. Like I've got a friend of mine flying in from Romania who produces comedy shows to kind of be that guy on the ground.
Great.
My partner is a sound guy, so he's going to do the sound.
Yeah.
But we're going to film it exactly like it happens.
Yeah.
So
cool.
At 15 minutes, they're out. Next audience is in. But it's an amalgamation of my stand-up for 10 years.
Sure.
So I'm going to have to make callbacks work for the audience in the room, but there's going to be Easter eggs, So if you're watching
That's great.
But it's funny to talk about this because I'm so excited to do it, but I have no following. Who is that? I realized, who is this for? And I'm like,
I mean, in a way, it's kind of the ideal format for what is now the attention span of the internet, right? Because I put out a special 3 or 4 weeks ago, which was an hour. I think I probably cut down to 52 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But while I was sort of in post-production for it after filming it, I was like, well, actually an hour format is insane to put out because nobody watches an hour, particularly if it's from an unknown. Even a famous comedian, no one's really watching the hour anymore.
Yeah.
I remember going back, 8 or 9 years ago, I heard an interview with Bert Kreischer, who I don't respect as a writer. But he was saying that Netflix had explained to him at the time that none of their, they get all the metrics on their watchbacks from people, that no people would generally shut off an hour special after about 30 minutes, and they would never watch the rest of it. Yeah. And that was most of the audience would do that. And so he put a closer at 26 minutes and then had another closer at the end, right? Because he was well, if they're going to switch off, here I can maybe keep them.
That's so funny.
And or if they, at least they see one of my best bits, right?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you say that because
But releasing it as 15-minute chunks is, I think, the ideal thing.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. I don't even know when I'm going to release it. Sure. I don't know if it's ever getting released because, the people who are going to help me on it.
Well, hopefully it comes out good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just the people helping me on it. What I decided is, because they're all kind of coming just because they're like, this is sick.
I think it's great.
This is a ridiculous idea.
I think it's cool.
And I love it. And the people who run it are great. And if I ever do, for whatever reason, if it ever matters and it makes money, I'm going to give each of them a profit share. You know what I mean? Of it. But yeah, I guess this is it. I kind of want somebody to watch the whole thing and be like, damn, the fuck? Because you know what it's like to film a special. You got 2 nights of filming, two shows a night. Your friends and family are there. The AC's on.
Yeah.
Everybody's had the right amount of alcohol. This is the opposite, Yeah. And I'm every 15 minutes, these people have to go out and new people get shuffled in.
Yeah. Even putting everything, in my favor to film mine, even so, when I watched back the first unedited, unmixed footage, I went, well, this is terrible. I have thrown $15,000 away.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it's not like we had to, we didn't have to, in post-production, make it feel other than it felt on the day. But there's a lot that goes into the sound mix of all the audience mics and edits here and there and the color correction and stuff to make it feel like the live show felt. It's so hard. There's something lost in translation every time you film and put something out. But no, I think this is actually a much better way to do it, where you say, hey, we're not trying to make it slick. We're trying to make it real and fun. And
this is just what I mean.
I think it's cool.
You cross a river of shit and pass porta potties, and then you get in the box.
Right.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's because it harkens back to when I started, the Grizzly Pear I mentioned. You know what I mean? Right. It's sort of
what is that show going to be called in Adelaide?
Thank you for coming inside my box.
Great. Love it.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope it turns out like, whatever. I mean, it's pretty, because I'm having to rework my material to make it make sense, because in my former hour, but whatever. I won't bore you with the details.
No, but of course. I mean, that was a big part of the reason I released mine as an hour, knowing that most people wouldn't watch it that way, is because not necessarily just callbacks, but it's like a lot of my comedy, probably over 50%. Is about my ongoing relationship with my partner. So she very much so becomes a character over the course of an hour where you know this about her, you know this about, or you know this about us and our relationship. Therefore, this next story about the relationship is funnier because you have the context of these earlier things.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's callbacks and things as well, which is like mechanically only work if you watch it in one sitting. But I was just like, well, if I break it up, I sort of lose all that value. And I think that's an interesting challenge creatively. As you say, we're like, oh, well, okay, so this audience doesn't know that. But the people watching it in the end result will get to know that.
Yeah, but I'm also...
Which is cool.
I have to make each 15 minutes entertaining for each 15 minutes. Yeah, so...
You have to serve the live audience and the later audience.
But I believe in me with this.
I believe in you too.
But it's only because I love this box.
And I think you thrive in chaos.
I do.
As a performer.
Maybe
in reality, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of
as
both
performer,
probably.
So.
But yeah, like I would not, people have been saying to me for years, oh, why don't you film your special? And I was like, I don't fucking want to. And then I saw this and I was like, here is it.
That's
I would
cool.
never do this in a club.
Yeah, great.
I just want to do it in this box. I want it to be exactly like it is.
I love it.
It's just, I have fun doing comedy there. And I don't really have fun doing comedy on lineup shows anymore.
You didn't enjoy it a couple nights ago, though, Keith?
How honest do you want me to be?
Be honest.
Like, I like you.
Okay.
I like
that's
you.
Nice.
I like you. I like the other people you had on the lineup. I met a couple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the ideal.
But the gig
form.
itself is not fun for you.
Look, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. It's a job. It feels like a job.
Sure.
I could have fun in moments. I'm not going to pretend, but I'm like, I'm there. I'm at work.
Okay.
I feel like I have a job to do. You know?
Sure.
And it's kind of like,
I think it is true.
Yeah. And like you can have fun. And I'm not going to, but like, these days, it used to be like, oh, I have a gig tonight. Oh, and I can't wait. And now I'm going to try this. And now I'm sort of like, yeah, okay, I'm going to work right now.
Okay.
And I'm grateful this is my job instead of like sitting in an office.
Right.
But that's what I mean. I've sort of made this work for me because like there are gigs I go to where maybe I'm not a fan of everybody on the lineup because they haven't been very nice.
Of course.
And that's difficult to be around. Or maybe
that's
the club owner's breathing down your neck, So it's like, as far as the other night,
I'd
say
neutral,
better, one of the closer to better case scenario for me.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of had to figure out. Like I had to tell myself, I would rather kind of find other things I like doing, specifically like doing for money. I can do that. Look at life. How much money do I need? What are kind of what we were talking about earlier.
What are some of those other things that are like part of your year now?
I mean, I'm starting to lean. I mean, this is like crazy, but like, I don't know, like leaning into, I'm living with a beekeeper now. He's got a ton of beeswax. He's always wanted to do like beauty products. I've been making shampoo bars for years out of natural products.
Okay.
We're starting a company called Good Head.
Okay. Yes. Good. Yeah.
And it's just something, my life has been so go. I mean, forever because I was running also, And I lived in New York, and I'm grateful for all of that. It was fucking awesome.
How long did you live there?
15 years.
That's a long stint.
Yeah. And
I mean, I love that. I was there for like 3 months,
Yeah.
and I didn't pay rent because I was staying on a girl's couch, and definitely she wanted me to leave earlier than I left. But, I mean, I love the city, but I lived in London for about a year, and it's sort of similar vibes to me in that it is I feel like a hard city to make a go of.
Look, I loved New York.
Yeah.
I love visiting.
Yeah.
But I lived in London a few years. That wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm just like, nice life. I just want to not,
Moving
make
to
a little
Adelaide.
money, do a little good, have a little fun.
Yeah.
That's it, and like I've had a great life so far. So I guess it's just like, I'm ready to see what's next,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
it just, I found a way to make comedy or performing work for me
Yeah.
with what I want. I realized
Right.
I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be touring.
Yeah.
Would I turn down certain opportunities? No. Would I take some opportunities that maybe I didn't want to do, but I'm like, okay, kind of like you doing the 30 minutes clean.
Yeah,
where
sure.
I'm like, yeah, okay, boundaries are flexible. You're the decider, you know?
Absolutely.
But do I want to gig for certain people anymore? No.
Yeah, right.
You know, like it would have to be like quadruple the money, you know, or
Yeah,
something. And even
absolutely.
then, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the cost? What's the hidden cost?
Yeah.
And it's taken a lot of years to learn that and kind of recognize maybe I don't need as much money as I thought I did.
Right.
Maybe I was clinging to a fear of not having enough or what, you know?
Right.
And yeah, so it's just like life looks very different now.
I'm assuming like when you were growing up, it was quite financially insecure.
Yeah, I mean, there was no reason that I shouldn't feel safe, but, you know, my mom, you know, you're carried in a womb of somebody who maybe never felt safe, and then it's a single parent, and they're working all the time.
My anxiety, definitely comes from my mother, I realized.
Yeah, and
in
just
retrospect.
All sorts of factors. So, yeah, I think I'm even now with all the kind of self-work I have done, I'm realizing like, oh, I thought I was in fight or flight for years, and I've definitely calmed down, but maybe part of me's still there, you know?
Yeah.
And I really like taking the time to explore these things. I think when I was go, comedy, blah, 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 like I see comics, some of the best comics I know, and I talk to them and I'm like, oof, like
they're doing badly.
I'm nervous
in
for them.
Themselves. Yeah.
Should it hit? Because you can go your whole life and be like, you know, but if it hits, like, because it hit me, you know, when you get got by the stuff inside, you can't. It doesn't stop. You know, you basically are forced to deal with it.
Yeah, it's something like I've been in therapy. Are you in therapy?
No, no.
I've been in therapy for I think 4, maybe 5 years. Like in the Melbourne lockdown is when. I'd been talking about getting into therapy for years, and then in the Melbourne lockdown, I lost my mind, and my partner like sort of really put her foot down and said, "No, you have to go now because you're insane." And it's something that we started out doing therapy quite regularly. It's now sort of more maintenance, right? We've dealt with a lot of the very serious ongoing issues I had that were sort of mostly internalized from my childhood. Those have been essentially covered. And there are still big things we could work on, but we're only sort of seeing each other once a month because that's as much free therapy as I get, and I can't necessarily budget extra funds. And I think the last session we had, my therapist was like, well, it would be nice to deal with a couple of these other things, but I don't want to just like unpack everything and make you a mess and then be like, see you in a month. Like, it's hard work to deal with those very deep-seated issues.
Sure. And I also think, I don't know, it's showing up for yourself in that period of time between, you know, in small ways, like doing that work outside of the one thing, right?
Yeah.
Which you can do in a way that's not going to dysregulate you, you know?
Sure,
just recognizing some of the stuff you talk about in therapy. I mean, that's doing the work.
No,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah.
You know?
I think a comedian from Singapore who's been institutionalized a couple of times. And, you know, he does journaling, and that for him helps him externalize what was going on internally and growing and becoming a vicious circle and stuff. And by externalizing just, okay, this is what I'm thinking, this is the things that have been happening, it enables him to just be on top of that. It doesn't grow out of control because now it's actually under the light. Yeah,
that's great. Journaling is one I've always been allergic to, but this
year...
I've
never done it. I mean, I suppose my comedy is very much so an act of journaling, right?
Probably, but see,
for me at least,
I'm not writing new jokes, so you know. But I think, I've been trying to kind of, I don't know, I like to be very open to all sorts of things, so I've been trying to do it a little bit, you know, just to be like, if I feel allergic to it, then maybe that means there's something there. You know?
Interesting.
So, you know, I like to have a little look, you know, not get too scrambled in that. But, I mean, you know, there's lots of different ways to do this kind of stuff. And, like I'd say when I was going through the hardest parts of, you know, because my sort of whole thing, you know, burst during lockdown as well.
Right.
It was very funny. It was.
Well, you got married during the lockdown, right?
I did. Yeah.
Which is now. Do you want to avoid this subject at all?
I don't mind.
All
I
right.
mean,
so,
you know.
So let's just do a really quick summary. We don't have to get a big long story about it.
Okay.
So really quick summary of the timeline of this relationship.
Okay. I met my husband at Edinburgh 2019.
Yes.
We got married in the Melbourne lockdown in April 2020.
Right.
And then we went through a lot, you know. together.
Sure.
Like, I'd say, 2 lifetimes worth of shit together from that lockdown. Even until now, we're still friends.
Yeah.
But then we decided to separate, romantically.
Yep.
In, I guess, September 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, that would have been it.
Yeah.
And, still processing that.
Right.
Because it's funny, like grief. I am fortunate that I guess mine hasn't. I mean, I've never like lost somebody suddenly from death. I guess I think you associate grief with
but I do feel
that.
like a long-term relationship, there's also a grief associated with that.
Yeah. And
it's
like,
very much like a loss.
Well,
even if it's, amicable.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, to put this sort of pin in it, like, or point on it, we didn't tell a lot of people at first.
Yeah,
and,
I saw you last year and I didn't know about it.
And even right now, so like, we didn't tell a lot of people because I think, I don't know, grief can be very private, you know? And it's kind of nice to go through that stuff without, the eyes of everyone, the opinions of everyone.
Yeah.
And like, to be fully honest right now, like, our families don't know. They know though. You know what I mean?
They suspect.
They know. And, it's not because we want, but it's just like we're thinking about their lives. We're thinking about our lives.
Yeah.
We kind of want to finalize everything to be like, hey, we did it.
Yeah.
We're good. All's good.
Right.
Did
you guys have plans for kids, or like, did you have like long-term plans that have now ceased to be? Or were you just kind of like, this is good? Like, what was your attitude to marriage before marriage?
I mean,
Were you like, this is going to be a lifelong thing?
Was that the expectation? I think definitely we're like you and me forever,
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I don't know. I look at it as like a success anyway. I feel like we both got so much out of it.
Yeah. I don't think a marriage has to go until one of you dies to be a success.
Yeah. And like, we weren't happy romantically together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I love him enough to know that and be like, we're doing this, because he's Irish. He would have never done it.
Yeah.
But then he like agreed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's just like, I want him to be happy. I want me to be happy.
Yeah.
We both have found new people that I think are better suited to who we are without that kind of constant attempt at compromise and feeling like you're always letting somebody down and you're not feeling heard or whatever.
And it's not necessarily like you're a bad person, he's a bad person.
Not at all.
But yes, it's a better fit, I feel like. That's
I mean, I'm staying with my in-laws right now. Like he is, I would say almost anything for this person. You know what I mean? And I say that because there's all caveats.
No,
for
of course. Yeah.
But like I don't know, at Edinburgh last year, it was very funny because my new partner and his new partner, we were all there. We all met. But you saw comics who didn't know we weren't together anymore, seeing this, being like, what's happening? And then coming up and being like, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry, and you're like, this is very funny to watch you crash out over something that we are a year away from.
I mean, there's plenty of reprobate comics that are doing awful things to partners that aren't aware of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's very believable that a comic is cheating on their partner.
Yeah, but, well, I mean, he had said, like, if anybody comes up to me, I'm going to be like, please don't tell. Like, I'm like, do it. But what was interesting, because this was kind of on your list, and I think it's important because it's something, the first year, because I think our romantic relationship was ending for a while. We were basically just roommates at a point. And like,
classic.
Sure, if you want that, but I didn't, and I don't think he did.
Certainly, plenty of married couples continue on.
Fine. But then the first year of not being together, there were moments where it was very sad, but it was really at Fringe, like, he had always been my partner for, and then it's like my body felt like there's moments where I'm like, where is that
There's
person?
an absence now.
And now I have, this new person who is we're more aligned, more suited, and I can
also
talk to
comic?
about all this. Absolutely fucking not. No, a sound tech and a chef though. So I think
all right, that's fine. Still better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm moving up.
You've learned a lesson.
But the grief that I started to go through there, and then after that, it was still like a letting go of kind of these things of like that. I'm not going to be with that other person forever.
Yeah.
There's certain things I'll never see again.
Exactly.
The moments that were lovely where you forget the ones that why you parted.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sitting there and my new partner, I'm like, I just got to cry about him right now.
Sure.
And he's like, and this was crazy because I've always dated men who are like my father and capable of loving me back the way I need. And like, he was like, do you want me to rock you?
Aww.
And this motherfucker is rocking me. And I'm like, I didn't know I needed this.
Yeah.
Like, and just, I don't know. It's just while I'm sobbing over my ex-husband and he's like, it's your husband, baby. Like, that's your husband. You're not divorced yet.
No, absolutely.
I just thought that's funny. He's always reminding me. He's like, no, he's still your husband. Like,
yeah.
But
no, because I'm also divorced, and we were a very bad fit, and it shouldn't have happened. But we tried to make it work for a while, and it made both of us miserable. And regardless, like when it ended, the moment I realized it was over, like we're still living in the same house and we actually still try to make it work for another 6 months. But the moment I realized it was over, I spontaneously just threw up.
Yeah.
Because it is so confronting to have a whole imagined future suddenly cease to exist, you know? Like we had kids we had planned, you know? Like that is no longer a plan in my life.
Yeah.
And it's great that like we both, after I sort of got over, I went like a little bit nuts for a year after that. And, but after I got over that, and certainly we both are so much happier. Being with different people, having a different lives than we would have together, just made ourselves miserable trying to go, well, we made a commitment, therefore.
Yeah, and I think it's especially hard, I mean, at least in my case, I don't know the details of everything, but I mean, like, it's hard when I'm like, I love this person more than I've ever loved anybody.
Right.
They are such a kind person. Like, do you know what I mean? Where I'm like, this is a good one. So why would I want to let that go?
Interesting.
But, because it was like nothing happened. No, nothing happened. That made it bad. It just, so it's like, you're kind of like, no, I don't want it, And then it almost makes it harder. And so then it's like, had this sort of period of mourning in the last few months, but it felt like letting go of more, creating space so I can be ready still to kind of receive the thing more that is correct for me, And I think, he's dealt with it in his own way. And he's met somebody that I met. I'm like, I mean, I hate it.
Do you feel like he's happier?
Yes. And I hate that.
But you
as
are
a comedian,
too.
I know, but as a comedian, I'm like, I want him to be happy, but not any more happy than he was with me. But I mean, truly, he seems, and that he gets to go find his own way, and that we needed to do what we did so we can learn quite a few things that we learned. Yeah. And then take that going on.
Do you know Ivan Aristeguieta?
No.
So he's originally from Venezuela. He's a comedian here in Australia. He's very good. He's one of the maybe top 10 most successful comics in Australia, right? Whatever that means. But he's also an excellent joke writer, lovely guy. But he's divorced also, and he has this great bit about the only thing that's important in society is a piece of paper. Like you need paper evidence of everything. I won't do all the examples, but he talked about a certificate of marriage and a certificate of divorce. That like the certificate of divorce is a participation trophy in marriage. And he showed it to his new partner. She said, "Oh, so you know how to be a good husband?" He said, "Well, no, but I know what not to do."
Yeah.
And I think you really do learn a lot from a failed relationship, hopefully, if you have enough ability to self-reflect.
Yeah.
I'm such a better partner to my partner now because I had a horrible marriage for 2 years. That, yes, it was never going to work, but I still learned all these things that made a bad situation worse that I now avoid.
Well, hopefully, and I mean, I'm sure you have because
Well, I think it's. I mean, there's instincts I had that it's the same as what I was talking about with being on the spectrum or going through therapy. You go, okay, well, just because my first reaction internally is to react in a certain way, it doesn't mean that that's the right move.
Yeah, right. I also think, I mean, I learned a lot about myself.
Yeah,
and I'm learning a lot about myself with somebody who is more. I mean, like,
right.
It's crazy, like, to have done all this sort of, like, you do this work on yourself, right? And then sometimes you're like, oh, I feel good. Maybe I'm done, Maybe I'm good.
Yeah,
but like I found out
I stopped therapy for a year because I thought I was finished with it.
Yeah. No, isn't that silly?
My
That's
partner
cute.
was pretty excited when I said, I think I'm going to go back to therapy. She's like, great, thank God.
But it was funny to meet this person that I'm now with who I would say is like healthily adjusted in the world and whatever. And then to
not
kind
a comic,
of
so.
Right. And but just comes from a happy fan. You know what I mean? Like,
wow. Yeah.
But like to then kind of realize, like, even with all this stuff I've done for myself, I realized, what is it? You know, attachment styles. There's
Sure.
Yeah. I learned from meeting him and having him show up in a healthy way and still feeling the same kind of reactions I would feel
if he wasn't.
I was like, oh, like, I'm going to pull on this thread.
Yeah.
And then it helped me kind of, even though I'm, felt like way in a much more healthy place than ever before, I was like, oh, this is still something for me to look at and think about and work through because I've never had this. And you're not being avoidant or you're not being clingy.
But I'm still responding as if you are.
Yeah, to both those things. So I think the thing between Mark and I is we had stopped helping each other grow, you know? And I think I want him to be the best version of himself. And I think that was, as much as I hate to say it, without me as a partner. And now I feel like I can be a better friend to him and he can be a better friend to me.
That's great.
And I don't know, but there are moments where I'm crying in another man's arms about my ex-man. And like, that's crazy. But I just like that we're all like good,
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
and
awesome.
Yeah. So, but we have yet to tell the families, and that's going to be, so you check in next time.
All right. Let's very quickly wrap up. What's your favorite movie?
Oh, The Birdcage.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
I
mean, I don't know if it is, but you know what I
mean?
Hey, we're doing like quick fire, right?
Yeah. Who's your favorite comic?
Pass.
I kind of thought you might give that answer. That's funny to me. And what's the meaning of life?
Haven't we been? I saw that on there. We've been talking about that, right?
Yeah.
I think it's.
If you had to summarize it, let's say, and for you, obviously, not.
Well, and I'm stealing this from a guy named Robert Anton Wilson, who I think is one of the most interesting people ever. If you got 6 hours to spare, somebody has compiled all of his lectures on YouTube, and it's called Robert Anton Wilson Explains Everything.
Okay, cool. I'll check it out.
He had polio as a kid. He became an editor for Playboy. Yeah. He was good friends with Timothy Leary.
Polio's coming back. That's going to be less of a
polio's coming back, baby.
Noted thing about someone. Everyone's going to have it. Yeah.
And I don't even know if this is his quote, but I heard him say it. And I sort of said it a little earlier, but fucked it up. But I think it's have a little fun, make a little money, do a little good.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on.
Thanks for having me. I like you.